Okay, so I've got my caramel macchiato extra hot, ready to go, and I'm ready to roll. This is my whole collection of everything that I have kept. The stuff in the back I keep on my wall in the bedroom, and it's stuff that won't fit in my boxes, or I'm afraid it'd be too fragile and would fall apart if it got, you know, bumped up against something. These are my gifts and exchanges and returns that I've kept since 2015. So the bottom box is 2015 and 16. Then we go to 17, 18, 19, 20, and 21. Now in the 21 box, there's only one gift because that's the only one I've received so far this year, and that was on the 15th. Okay, these are my samples, and I'm going to start way at the back here. Not all of the stuff I'm 100% sure would be Bigfoot, but a lot of it is. I guess I'll tell you whenever I go through. But this is from Jim's truck, residue from when they had left fingerprints on the front of his truck, and it was really like, it like ran. I don't know what that was all about, but it was kind of liquidy. That one doesn't have any information. This was tiny fuzz or hair from the back porch after they'd been there. This was a hair sample found on the hill out back in 2016. This was a hair that was found, or actually I think it's like a clump of hair that was found by Jim's car in 2016. This is a black and white hair from May 18th, 2016, found in the gifting shell after an item was moved out of the shell. So the things were, they actually were up and touched stuff, and there was a hair left behind. Those are the ones I'm pretty confident in that they're most likely Bigfoot. This was some hair found behind the house near the kitchen window, and it was on the same day that they took a piece of yellow sea glass. This next one was on a barbed wire fence, August 12th, 2017. This was one marked probably cow. I'd measured the hairs, some of them were really long, but the cows do cross that barbed wire fence right there, and their tail might get stuck in it, so I kept them anyways, just I want to be sure not to throw something out that might be a Bigfoot hair. June 8th, 2017, on the front porch there was a big black hair, long. Don't know how it would have gotten on the front porch. It's coarse, and that was a really good sample. May 6, 2018, there was hair stuck to clay baby Bigfoot doll, which was returned to the railing. So there again, they touched it and left a hair behind. July 7th, 2018, small hair on ball, which was moved to my chair on the back porch. So that's when they had touched. And another one, a week later, hair stuck on Bigfoot doll after they were up. This one's not marked. There was liquid on the front porch. It looked like something had peed, and it went in front of the chairs. So I took samples of that, wet and dry samples. There was a clump of coarse hair stuck to a stick that was part of a possible glyph in the front yard, and that was a big clump of coarse hair. Well, I got it in a napkin, so I'm not going to open it. There was hair on a green game piece gift. They gave me a blue magnet, stuck it to the lantern back on the back porch, and there was hairs stuck in residue with finger marks in it. November 3rd, hairs and fuzz on a rock that was gifted. So that's all my samples, and I've been told that it's best to keep them in paper so that they don't degrade as quickly. If you put them in plastic, they degrade faster. And of course you all remember this. This was not very long ago. The juvenile handprint on the flower pot on my front porch where it looked like it had picked it up, both sides. So I was able to keep that. This was that little footprint that was in the sandbox. And that's the one and only one I casted. So far I keep hoping to find a really good castable big footprint. I have found them in the past, like at the lake, but I didn't have any stuff to make the cast, so I didn't do it then. I would do it now if only I could find a really, really good castable one. So, we'll go back to the beginning, 2015 and 16, and just want to show you a view of all of it. It's amazing to me how much stuff they have interacted with me through. The sort of communication through objects, and Christopher Noel talks about that in his books and on his channel, so check him out. November 27th, 2015. I found this arranged on the bench out back, and this bell was taken off of this mouse. I'd put this mouse back on the gifting log out back where we were exchanging things at first, and one day I found this missing. As you can see, it's ripped off. And then on the 27th, I found this on the bench with that tail stuck in it, and boy did that blow my mind. This was the day that everything hit me about their intelligence, and just like everything felt surreal, and I was like, is this really happening? But this is absolutely one of my favorite things. I will never get rid of it. And they put this rock beside it too, which I don't know why for sure. But they'd taken the ribbon and made this. And as you can see, there's a slit in the stick, and they stuck the ribbon through it. Now there's tape on here because when I first started keeping things, I didn't keep them in boxes like that. I was putting them in like a shoe box or something, and it bumped up against something else, and this broke off. So I just wrapped tape around it to keep it together. So, like I said, that day was the day for me where everything started. I don't know, the reality of it just started hitting me. Now that same day, in the evening, well, during the day we went, and since they brought me this bell, I thought I'm going to get them a bell that they might like, so I went to a pet store and I found this, and I put it on the railing for them, and there's a lot to this day. There's just so much for me to tell you. There's just too much to put in one video about everything and explain details on everything. So, well, that's why I made all the diary videos. And So anyways, that night I put this out. And we went inside, we ate supper, and I went back out to check things. No. I went back out. I think we made a fire that night. And see, there's a lot more to this story, because when Jim lit the fire, we heard a vocal come, and at some point, because it was dark out there, I realized that this bell was gone, and this was in its place, which absolutely blew my mind, because they put that in place of this. They took the bell and left me this dipstick, and look, red and red. This is also one of my favorite things that they ever gave me. And the fact that all this happened on the same day, I mean, wow, what a day that was. Okay, this Y stick I found, it was 2015 or 16, I don't know the exact time, but I found it down, it was between the dump area and Creepy Valley, right along the wood line, and it was laying under like a tree, but all the bark had been stripped off of it. And it's just a perfect little Y stick, and I just knew it was something special, so I kept it. December 10th, 2015. I found this crab shell down on the beach, and I put it out for them, thinking they might like it. Well, turns out they didn't like it. It's one of the things that they really didn't like. And if you look real close right here, it almost looks like it has a man's face on it, and it has googly eyes. So I don't know if that's why they didn't like it or what, but they kept moving it, like putting it places, telling me like, please take this inside, we don't like it. And it's been cracked since, oh, I better quit messing with it. But it didn't used to be cracked like that. It was just one whole piece. This Y stick is the one that was placed in the hosta leaf right outside of our window, and I feel was a marker, like marking our bedroom. That was June 28th, 2019. This stick was in the grill, and that was the summer of 2019. And it was funny because it was like they put it in there like a piece of food or something. This Y stick was placed on the front porch, on the floor, right at the top of the steps, dead center. And it was laying just like that, with the propped up. This Y stick was placed on the back porch on my chair, and that was July 4th, 2020. So that's two special Y sticks. And August 16th, 2019, on my chair in the front porch, they took this flower out of an arrangement that actually my oldest grandson had made for me, and they took it out of that and put it on my chair. This little tiny leaf right here was placed on my chair on the front porch on October 21st, 2019. This little flower was a gift on my chair on the back porch, August 1st, 2020. This little flower was picked from the front, I believe. I think it was picked, or they picked it up off the ground, and they put it on my chair in the back porch, and it was July 24th, 2020. This big hosta stem with seeds on it, that was placed with my rake, which I believe they moved my rake, or yeah, I think they moved my rake, because the day before I'd been out cutting these down, and they took the rake, put it in the grass out front, and they put this with it. And that was on July 23rd, 2019. This leaf was placed in my chair on the front porch, and they usually put stuff dead center, and that's how I know that it wasn't just a fallen leaf or something. That was August 23rd, 2019. This one was on the front door mat, and at the time it was yellow, bright yellow, and dead center, the only one on the porch, and that was October 11th, 2019. July 7th, 2019. This beautiful little arrangement was on my chair on the front porch. That little seed was a gift under the little basket in the magnetic bowl, which they've been lately turning that over a lot. Well, it was turned over this day on August 23rd, 2020, and they put a little gift under there for me, that little seed. This was September 19th, 2020, and I had put this out with the crayon, and I did this just to show them, you know, that the crayon would write blue, but I think I laid it beside it. And before I put this out, I colored this stuff in blue, and I wrote Crayola so it would look like the crayon. So anyways, I left it out and went out there to check it one day, and I was so tickled because they had picked it up and they tried to write with it. Well, they did write with it. They made that mark, and they made these marks, this one and this. I think that actually, that's actually 2 marks. So that was really cool. Okay, now this is my 2015-16 boxes, and I would love to tell you the story behind every single item, but there just isn't time for that. I gotta keep telling myself, you just don't have time for that, Angie. So I want to show you what's in the boxes. I'll explain some of it. So let's get started. This is my very first gift. It was November 5th, 2015. And I was so shocked to find this. They had taken 2 shells from the gifting log, moved it over to the fence post, cut them together, and put this in it. It's folded up. It's a leaf. Whoops. It's a leaf from a plant that was there, and it's so pretty. See how stripy it is? And I gotta tell you, that blew my mind totally. And the fact that they gave me something, it blew my mind. My very first gift. Okay, this is the shark's eye that I put out back on the gifting log, and they returned it to our railing on the back porch. And this is what brought the gifting to my porch. They did it. They brought this back because they took it. It was missing from the log out back, and they returned it to the porch. Boy, did that blow our minds. That was November 6, 2015. This was the next thing that they returned. It was a little shell that I found on the beach. It had been taken from the gifting log and returned to the front porch. The next thing that was brought back was this bell, which was December 9th, 2015. The bell that they exchanged the dipstick to me for. Number 5. I put this cat toy out with a bell on it because I figured they liked bells. Well, they took it and they returned it with the yellow string unraveled from it. One of the whiskers was off, but they had it in this neat little pile, laying on the corner of the porch, and they had this ball part laying on the yellow. And when I went out to pick it up, I think I went back in the house to get my camera, came back out to take a picture, and from down in the field below our house came a woo, or a scream. And it was almost like they were saying, "Hey, I'm sorry that I broke your thing," but it's like they watched me go out and get it. Okay, they were really into bells at the time. I put this one out for them, and they took it and returned it on January 9th, 2016. The next thing was another cat toy that they left intact, but they returned it to me. The next thing was, they'd taken this die from the porch and brought it back on March 6th. This is all 2016 till I tell you different. Now this next thing was special. This was, I found it on the railing up next to the house. It's a sink strainer, and this is why I have what I call the little metal basket in the gifting magnetic bowl thing on the porch, because I wanted to put something out like they had given me. This one's smaller, but here's a story behind it. I went down in the woods, because I don't think they'd been up for a while or something, and I went down in the woods behind the house, and I talked to him, and I said, "Oh, come up to the porch. I want you to come to the porch." And I was talking to him and finding arches, and I told him how pretty their arch was. And well, I get back, I'm sitting on the porch, and out of the corner of my eye, I see this, and I'm like, what in the world? And it wasn't there when I left. So apparently they brought this while I was down in the woods. Well, it's a sink strainer, and they shoved little leaves down in it, and there was grass sticking out of it. It was so pretty. And they had taken something and put this in its place, because this was a gift, but it was also an exchange. That was March 12th. This is also a gift or exchange. Gift and exchange. They took something and left this in its place. We're not sure what it is. We've heard people say maybe a pin from a fire extinguisher. I don't know what it is, but it was awesome. That was March 16th, 2016. Now this, March 18th. We were gone from the house. We went to town. I came back and found this laying on the railing. And at that point they were putting stuff up next to the garage outside wall on the railing a lot. And this was laying there. Boy, was I surprised and just blown away. It's so pretty. Never have figured out for sure just exactly what it is. Some kind of a rock or slagstone or something. This bell was on March 26th, and it was a return. So they'd taken this and brought it back. This little button was a return on March 28th, 2016. And like I'm saying, to get the story behind all this, like what they returned, like they returned that, or did they exchange, like what did they exchange this for, and all that, you're going to have to go through my diary videos to see that, because I just don't have time to explain it all. This die was a return on April 2nd. This was another mind-blowing one on April 12th, 2016. They'd taken, I put a spool of white thread out for him, a little one. Well, they took it, and I found it stuck behind the trim on the siding on the house at the railing. I'll put a picture up. With the thread all taken off, but they shoved it back through. Look at that. That absolutely blew my mind. That's one of my favorite things that they've ever done. Now, as if that other bluestone weren't great, look at this. I found this on the bench where they had put the rattle toy stick with the ribbon bell in it that I found that blew me away. This was laying on that same spot, and it's a gift, and it was April 26, 2016. That same blue stuff is that other blue rock that they brought me. That is one of my favorite things that, like, you'll never be able to part this from me. This was funny. This I bought down in North Carolina when we went on vacation, and it's a necklace. You know, you can put something in it, and it's not usually spread out like that. But they took it, and then they returned it, and it was stuck in the siding, trim again, squished down, and when I took it out, it was all sprung like that, spread apart. So that gave me a laugh. Another gift behind the siding, May 21st, and they had returned some pliers of gems that they'd taken from probably the garage, if I'm remembering right. 'Cause they were coming in the garage a lot at that time, and we didn't really understand it then, what was going on, but we figured it out. It didn't take long. This is another rock, looks like a limestone rock, by the girl doll, my doll, on May 29th, 2016. This rock was a gift from them, and I believe that they took a blue rock that I put out, and it looked very similar to this in its texture and size and shape. And I never got that rock back, but they did give me this one as a gift. Oh, and one more thing. I remember that day I believe I was cleaning the carpets with a carpet cleaner. I was in there all day. I go out, nobody else was here, and I found this laying there, so there's no way that could have been any person. Another bell, and they returned it behind the siding, June 20th. This was a little tiny flower that was a gift or exchange, and it's fallen apart now, but I still got it. July 3rd. Okay, number 23 is a yellow ball, which was a gift. 24 is like a little kitty face that I bought them. It's a button, and it was a return. They had taken it. This was a gift, and it's one of those Nerf bullets that people use to play, you know, put in their Nerf guns, whatever. This was another stone gift. This is a gift on my chair on the front porch, dead center again. This is a list of things that that I can't put in a box, that like I can't number everything and have it in the box, so I wrote stuff down there. And another thing is that I had to give, like, when they would take Jim's tools and bring them back, sometimes I'd have to give him his tool back. So my collection that I'm showing you doesn't include everything. And some stuff, like the apple that they took and put in the knothole in the tree and took bites out of, like they ate half of it. I kept it for a while, but our freezer, or power went down, and then it got mushy. So had to throw that away, and there was stuff like hedge apples and walnuts that went bad, so I just couldn't keep everything. So what I'm showing you doesn't include every exchange, return, or gift. Here's an example of something organic, and it's got a little mold on it, but I am going to keep it because it's not too bad. But this is a bud from the Sharon bush that I have out front, and it's a gift. This was a return, a little piece of sea glass. This was an exchange. They brought a wrench back, ripped the ribbon from a bell, and took the ribbon. This piece was left on the ground, so there's that. Oh, this was a big deal right here. This is the multicolored ball that they brought me, and that was on November 2nd, 2016. And I was all excited, and I went in to get a camera to take pictures of it, and when I walked back out and picked it up, I heard a woo from the woods, which excited me, and then I took it around the house, and then I ended up having a verbal exchange with them where I would say thank you and stuff, and then they would return with a woo. And that happened, I believe, 2 to 3 times. So that was one of the most memorable, significant events that have happened. This is a return, piece of sea glass. And another return, piece of sea glass. This is a shiny rock that was a return exchange. During work, while I was at work, they took a meat tenderizer that I put out for them, and they moved a ball. So that was November 17th. On November 23rd, they returned this rock, and then this was the meat tenderizer. They returned it, and they stuck it in the ground like this. And I used to have a gifting stump out there, like a little piece of wood that I put stuff on, and this was stuck in the ground right in front of it when they returned it. Oh, on that gifting stump, I had, I think I had put a chain on there, and I believe they looped the chain and put these in it. And there was like frost and stuff on the stump, which would have made it slippery. So they were so smart that they looped the chain to keep those from falling off. This was the next thing. It's a clear marble, and it was a gift, and they put on that board in the chain loop that they made. And the last gift of December 28th was also an exchange. They took 3 Hershey Kisses from the board at the woodpile and brought this back. Correction, this says that it was on the railing in the game pieces, and they took 3 Hershey Kisses from the board at the woodpile. So this apparently was a gift because it was not returned. It says gift. So this is one I did not put out. One last thing from 2016 was this. I put this out with a crayon, I believe, and I found, instead of them writing on it, they left little fingerprints. Down here, I can't see it, the light's not right, but there is a fingerprint with dermal ridges in it. I believe a juvenile was touching it with their dirty little fingers. Okay, 2017. This contains numbers 41 to 96. Okay, let's see what we got. Alrighty. They brought this as a gift at some point, but I'd missed it. It was down in the leaves. Probably rolled off or something. I hate that when that happens. This was a gift. Brought it while I was at work. A blue marble. In order. Alright, this one freaked me out a little bit. I go out and see this on the railing. I was like, oh my god. Actually, it's really cool. It's an angry bird. But they also turned over the red dice that was out there, that was in the middle, and a Y stick was turned over. So all that happened at the same time. Okay, this was January 19th, and this was crazy. I found this laying down beside the dolls. I had them down at the bottom of on the porch, like under the railing at that time, and they had this laying down there with like my doll and Jim's doll, and it does kind of look like a person, doesn't it, with a head and arms and legs. It's a, I think, a plumber's tool. I'm not sure if I looked it up at one point, but it's heavy. Okay, they were going through a really big tool phase at this time. And we're not sure about this. Was it a return? Was it a gift? We don't know. But at the same time, there's also a loud bang on the roof of our bedroom when we found it. Here's, I thought I'd better buy him some shiny, pretty tools to take and stuff because they were taking gems. So I got these ones that weren't real expensive and put out. So they took this one and returned it. And, hold on. This one we think was a gift because Jim didn't recognize it. So they got it somewhere else and brought it to us. This is an old nail that I found laying out there. Let's see, it was on the railing, so I think it was a gift from them. Really cool old nail. Okay, this was a gift, as far as I know. I don't think Jim recognized it. And the weird thing is where they put it on, what I got written down here is a bolt on the magnetic bowl. So I had something sitting in the magnetic bowl, stuck in there, and they put this on top of it. So it was like they were really figuring out magnetism at that point and into their tool phase. And this was a return, one that I bought them, and they put it in the basket that I have hanging out there off the side of the garage. And another return of what I've gifted them, a little wrench, but they put that in the magnetic bowl. This is a little tiny seed, and they put it in front of the dice, like, you know, the dots on the dice. Apparently we found antlers on May 7th too, so there's one of them things not numbered. But I do have the antlers. In fact, I'll go get them. Okay, these are the antlers that I was talking about on May 7th, 2017. We had come home from a vacation, and we'd been home one day. We went to church, we came back, and you see how there's bales of hay right there? Well, when we came back down in the driveway, we noticed this sitting on top of the hay bales. And it wasn't there the day before, so that was crazy. This little antler we found laying up beyond the shed by the fence. I believe Annabelle was here at that time. And this beautiful thing we also found laying up there. And like, we think it was a gift too. And if I'm not mistaken, Annabelle was here then too. Moving on, a green marble, which was a gift. Oh boy, he's messed up. Oh, this was so sweet. May 20th, 2017. They'd taken this, one of those necklace things that I'd bought them before. Apparently they broke it. As you see, it's broken and it's stretched out. Well, they brought the pieces back, laid them on the railing, and they brought me this little rubber ducky. And that is a gift. I'd never seen it before. So I believe they were giving that to me and saying, I'm sorry for breaking your thing that we took. This I had out on the front porch, and it was on the floor. I don't know if I went to work or whatever, but I came back and it was in my chair. It's like they were saying, here, this is your thing. This is a ring, a cat ring, and I got it for them. I gave it to them, and they had it for 5 days and returned it. This was a screen protector I had on my phone, and I put it out for them, and I think I had it like on the woodpile over at the side of the house and stuff. Well, one day I went and checked things on the front porch, and they'd put it in the middle of my chair on there saying, this is yours. Okay, this was weird. This is like a police figure toy, and it was a gift. We'd never seen it before, and they had knocked Jim's doll off the railing and put this in its place. And what's weird is our oldest son is a police officer or sheriff's deputy, and he does come down here sometimes in his uniform. So we don't know if that had anything to do with it or not, but quite interesting. This was a gift. It's a little chip clip. Another tool that they moved it. They took this and moved it from the back porch to the arm of the swing on the front porch. Don't know why. Don't know why they do some of the stuff they do. This is a little plastic game piece, I think. It was a gift, and they put it on that board, on that gift stuff that I had set up back there. And that was July 3rd. On July 5th, they brought another one. And then on July 6th, they brought this cool thing. It's an egg. I'm going to open it up and show you what's inside of it. When I first picked it up and I heard that, I thought, oh my goodness. And look what's inside. It's a little yellow ball with like a chicken bird face on it. How cool is that? The next gift was this. And it's almost like it's in like something you get from a cereal box. It's in a little wrapper. After I started getting this stuff, I started thinking, because the county fair was going on at the time, so I was wondering if they're getting some of that stuff there, because it's at the edge of town, but after it would get dark, I don't see them having any problem sneaking through the woods and getting in there and finding stuff. This is probably a gift. Jim says it's not his. It's another tool. Next thing was this little chain, which was a gift. Hold on. There. So, in the bag, it just doesn't do it justice. Very cool, though. July 27th, a googly eye gift. If I just say gift, that means I've never seen it before and they brought it to me. It wasn't a return, it wasn't an exchange, it was just a gift that they brought to me. Excuse me, nose is getting runny. This was a return. I had put it out for them, they took it and returned it. This was really cute. It's a bobblehead frog. And they put it on the wood pile up behind on the wall, like on the garage on that side of the house. I loved that. That was so cute. This is a piece of wood. I think it was a gift. I got wrote on the back. I'm 90% certain it was a gift. This was really cool. This was a gift. It's like a pacifier, but it's not a real pacifier. It's like a, it's either a toy or like a decoration or something. Very pretty in that really pretty blue color. And that's a theme here over the next while. You'll see pacifiers being a theme. Okay, these are some flyers I put out and they took and returned. This was funny. This was a gift on my chair. And you'll never guess what it is. It was right dead center on my chair in the front porch. Well, it's cold sore salve. No idea where they found that, but they must have thought it was pretty cute. This is a red ball I found in the yard and nobody knows where it came from, so we're pretty certain that was a gift from the Bigfoots. This is 2 bracelets. 2 gifts in one day. I got one, the small one was on my chair on the front porch, and the big one was in the magnetic bowl on the back porch. Next is a little barrette, like a baby barrette. That was also on my chair on the front porch. This is a little toy car, and it was on the railing with the cars that I had out there. So, like, they put it right beside them. Here's another one of those pacifier things. This was on the gifting board, and it's like a holder for it, for one, or maybe that blue one that they brought, unless this is an actual, like, real pacifier holder. This is an old car, and it was put on the railing beside the other vehicles while I was taking my nap. That is a crayon, and it was a gift, and they put it between the girl doll and the Bigfoot doll that I had beside me. This is another monumental moment here. This is a wrench that I took to Jim's parents. I put tape on it, and we hid it there in their woods. They also live at the edge of town. They live about 4 miles from here. Well, we found it in the grill one day on October 20th, 2017. So that tells us that our Bigfoots go to Jim's parents' property. This is a return, a piece of blue glass. It is a little sequin gift on the railing. And this is another one of his little gift. That's a bead. It was in the metal basket. This was weird. This was on my chair on the front porch. It's rolled up sandpaper. This is a bunch of stuff that was in the magnetic bowl, which was put in the grill out back. All this stuff. this was another weird thing. We were out back setting up a tent because I wanted to sleep outside, see what would happen. I had a block puzzle set up out there, and when we were bringing cords in and out, these got knocked off. But when I put them back, one was missing. And we don't know how or when they got up there. They had to be so fast to run up, grab one, and take off. But they did, because we were in and out of the house doing stuff. And then they returned this a few days later, and they even see how they peeled some of the pictures off. This is a gift on the front porch. And they straightened my chair. So they straightened my chair and put a gift on it. This is a nipple pacifier. It was in the grill, right in the center, and it's a gift. This was a gift, and it was on the stand above the birdhouse, right beside my chair, between our chairs on the front porch. And this was probably a return, and there's the whole story behind that where I think they came in the house. That was November 18th, 2017, because of the Tootsie Rolls, and the Tootsie Rolls were in the cabinet with the chips, which is what this was, a chip clip. So there's that whole story if you want to go back and look at that. This was awesome. I found this in the magnetic bowl, and it's a necklace, and it's got little dice on it. And I think they brought that because I always have dice out there, you know, and they were doing an association, thinking I'd really like that probably. I found this on the front porch swing beside the gorilla that I have out there. Never been really sure what it is. This is another little bobblehead. They took it from the back porch and they returned it to the front porch the same day as they brought that. And it was also on the swing by the gorilla. This is a ball, a blue ball, and it was a gift, and I found it in the center of the grill. And this is a K. It was a gift, and it was on the chair on the front porch. And it says it had been 5 days. I don't know what that means. I should have been more specific. But yeah, that was a gift on my chair.